He played two girls, but when the side chick found out, she didn't just walk away. She brought revenge that shook the whole university campus. Here's how it began. He thought he was the smartest guy in law school until one morning he woke up robbed and totally exposed. The thing about law school, everyone was smart, or at least everyone thought they were. And so from the very start, some would set on that course to use their smarts to charm, to deceive, to hide, and to cheat their way through life. So you see, the thing is that in itself already sets a course for drama, pure drama. Our guy for this story for today, he was all that: smooth, slick, calculated. This lie of a guy was my classmate, a friend, and a very intending Casanova. He was the type who made girls blush by very simple, idiotic acts, I would say, like by asking for a pen or by a simple good morning greeting, very simple, idiotic acts. And for long, he dated this girl in our class. She was called Nana. She was beautiful, she was bright, and a loyal kind of girl. Their dating was public and open. Everyone at law school knew about them. They were always together, holding hands, sharing notes. We thought they were a match made in heaven. But then, one day, something happened, and we're about to find out why. So one day, our Mr. Casanova guy, let us say, he got bored. He met another girl. She was new on campus, a freshman, if you may call her. She had a beauty that drew attention fast, a smell that made the heart shake with wonder, and she said and did things that boys love. She was different. Our Casanova friend thought, he could risk it, couldn't he? When he met her, he dazzled her, said the right things, told her she was the most beautiful girl he had ever met. And her heart melted. It melted. He spoiled her with big debts and bigger gifts. He did everything that university girls craved for. And for long, she was head over heels for our guy, Casanova. And ladies and gentlemen, the game was on. Casanova told her she was the only one, and they were in it for life. And she believed him. The game he played, let us say, it was smooth and very calculated, flawless and masterful. He brought her to his hostel many times. The main girl, our classmate, poor girl, knew nothing. She thought they had love and all that, This Casanova the guy was my friend. I've already told you that. I was well in his circle of friends. We knew everything. We knew the main girl, our friend, and we knew the side girl too, the street stranger. We cheered the game. We covered the tracks, made sure the main girl never saw the footprints of what was happening in the background. We were in on the game. We were his boys. A sworn gang, the inner courtroom. No one approached the bench without going through us first, if you know what I mean. So, when he first met her, he told us everything. The sly hello, and how she had blushed. Their first date, how he had stripped her off her feet. He told us about her first visit and the many visits that followed the first one. So we knew. Then we knew little remorse. We were unmerciful. It was all game for us, and we loved games, and we're in. Smart guy developed a roster, played them like side hustles, side by side, weekends for the side girl and then the weekends for the main girl. Every time we met, he gave us updates, the stories, the jokes, the risks of it, the almost, He went on until this joke turned in on him, until he no longer laughed, until the fun of it was totally gone. That morning, wait, let us save that. You need to hear how it all broke, because when it broke, it didn't crack piece by piece, it just shattered. It was early morning. My phone rang. It was a mutual friend calling, a member of the gang. When I picked up, it was Mr. Casanova guy. He sounded anxious, very anxious. He needed me to go over to his place. When I arrived, I found the boys laughing. Whatever it was so funny that they could not hold their breath. Casanova, however, was not laughing. He was anxious, like I said before. He had already sounded anxious on the phone. He was pacing the room. I asked him what the fuss was. No one answered. The boys continued laughing. They even laughed harder. Our pro player, the Casanova guy, just kept pacing the room. Slowly, after some time, they calmed down one by one. They sat wheezing, trying to kill the laughter. Finally, they opened up. The previous night, Mr. Casanova the man had brought home the side girl with him. They had had an evening of fun all night. In the morning, he had dashed out at her behest to fetch a few things she wanted, When he returned, she was gone, vanished just like that. She was not in the sheets, she was not in the room, and she was not even in the bathroom. Her bag was gone. Her shoes too. And then he looked for his phone to call her, to find out where she was. The phone was missing. He remembered he had placed it on the side table. It was not there. Not under the pillow, not under the covers, not under the bed. It was not anywhere. He remembered that also on the side table, there had been his bag too. In that bag, there had been a new laptop, his wallet containing some cash, and all had gone. He couldn't see the bag. So Mr. Casanova, the guy, had just stood there, speechless. The side girl, the laptop, the phone, the money, all gone. No. He didn't want to believe it. And that is when Mr. Casanova, the man, realized he actually knew nothing about the side girl. Who were her friends? Where did she live? For the first time, he realized she was all mystery. He was the smart guy. How had he not figured? Ladies and gentlemen, that was just the beginning of drama. We dialed his number to see if his phone would go through. Lo and behold, it rang, and man, she picked up. We sighed. We thought maybe it was just a game. Maybe she was just teasing around. She wasn't. When she picked up, she immediately put it straight. She had taken the laptop, taken the phone, taken the wallet, and she was not returning them back. She was punishing him for playing her. She had found out about the Casanova's girlfriend. She had found out she was just a side girl, never the main girl. She called it karma, and just when we thought the drama had peaked and reached its climax, she dropped another bomb. She had called the main girl, told her everything about the dates, about the nights she had spent with him, about all the lies Casanova had told her. It was bad for Casanova. When she hung up, immediately the girlfriend called on one of our friends' phone. She was looking for him. She wanted confirmation of what she had just been told. She was furious and she was done. When we went to the police station, yes, we went to police, it was serious, but the officers laughed. They said it was the usual boy-girl drama. Same story, just different characters. They had seen it all, they had heard all of those things. They agreed to dial his number though, of the stolen phone. The girl picked up, calm, casual, and bothered. Even when they introduced themselves as police officers, she maintained her stance and position. she had taken his property and was not bringing it back. The officers laughed even harder. That's how it goes. They said it was chickens coming home to roost and chickens had come home to roost. He insisted he wanted the police to track her down. They could track his phone, couldn't they? They could, of course. They could. They're police officers. But this was a corrupt country I'm talking about. Everything and everyone, even the police, were all corrupt. They took his money, went at it for weeks, could not find a girl. Demanded for more money, received it. Went again for weeks, months, came back for more money. Casanova, the guy, was paying enough money to buy another phone and another laptop. So he gave up. For months, he continued to dial his number. It was always on and always said girl would pick up. And she would laugh, and every time reminded him he had got what he had deserved. And so the story goes, a Casanova of a guy who never knew better and paid dearly for it. Dearly for it. Thank you for staying with us to the end of this story. That was a story for today, a scandal indeed, with the betrayal and revenge at the heart of it. At EzroniX, stories like this are more than entertainment. They reflect real struggles, choices, and consequences. This one showed us how trust can be broken and how deception carries a cost, and how playing with people's hearts leads to pain. In the end, it was a lesson in karma. What you put out always comes back to you in some way. If you put out love, you receive love. If you enjoy this story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. New stories drop every week here on our channel, and each week is packed with drama and lessons for real life. Don't forget to check out the links in the description. There you can visit our website for more stories that you can read on your own. And you can also subscribe to our EzroniX newsletter. All of those things are in the description below. Stay connected. Until next time, I remain Ezron from EzroniX. Adios.